Hangout is live, and this rat bastard was late, so we're 7 minutes late, but it's Liza's Just Live with the winner of BB15, Andy.
Hello.
What up? Guess what we're doing now? We're going to tweet this out, because that's all people care about.
Okay.
Live, now, Andy!
Yeah.
Sorry, I have no backdrop, fans, because I broke my old IKEA lamp that was holding up my curtain, and it's messy because I'm getting ready for a bunch of BB15 assholes to stay at my place next week.
Including me!
Including this asshole! What a way to start an interview. I only this is just you and me. Just a bunch of bastards. Yeah, we can talk about BB Can rap party stuff after. People got mad at me yesterday for having basically a girl chat with Aaron, because Aaron and I really needed to, girl chat. We really needed to, have a face-to-face, a screen-to-screen with all of our public to talk about what happened. And people are like, you're not talking about Big Brother Canada. So, Andy, we need to talk about Big Brother Canada.
Can I interject? Does Aaron watch Big Brother Canada?
Not so much.
Okay. I was going to say, I didn't know what expert tidbits she was going to, put on the table, but...
She originally told me that she needed to get caught up, and then it was revealed she saw the first episode.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think she's been, I talked to her, I don't think she's been watching it, so...
She's not watching it. Her and I had plenty to talk about, though. Okay, so I have not spoken to you. I've literally not spoken to you since this whole damn season started, so...
Yeah.
If you can, sort of forget everything that happened, and I want to know your initial opinions.
Oh, I've got one.
Yeah.
So... My initial opinion, and not to call myself a Big Brother savant or anything, seeing as how I'm the reigning champ of USA Big Brother, and before Big Brother Canada debuted, go back on my Twitter feed, I backed Netta. I was like, I'm into Netta. I think that I've got high hopes for her, and look where we have come since then. So, I mean, I think that my choice is doing quite well. I also, at the beginning, I really liked Kenny, but then, I thought Kenny started to play a little bit too hard, too fast, which, even he will admit. I've talked to him a little bit about it. Who else did I really like? I liked John a lot. I was happy that him and Netta kind of hooked up. And not hooked up, I mean, partnered up.
We know.
I don't know. I really was, a very fierce Netta supporter. And, also at the very beginning, a lot of people hated Sabrina, and I really, really liked Sabrina because I thought that sure, she's emotional, sure, she's kind of crazy, but, she was playing a good game. She had everyone fooled. She was playing everybody. For a while, things were looking good for her. And I actually still think that consistently throughout the whole game, Sabrina has actually played pretty well, bearing, the cards that have been thrown her way.
I am not a Sabrina fan.
Okay.
As a human being, this is going to be a tough one for me.
You have to look past that. I mean, as a game player, I think that Sabrina has played a pretty good game, I mean, you have to give credit where credit is due, and I think that the fact that she's still there is a testament to the fact that she's been playing. I mean, she didn't just roll over and die. She's been making deals with people. She's been, wheeling and dealing. I'm impressed with her.
I feel longevity isn't necessarily a testament to good gameplay.
Yeah.
I don't think Tala was a good game player.
Yeah.
There's a difference between you and GM. There are people who are playing this game, Netta, that drag along the weak ones because they can probably beat them in physical competitions, and they can certainly beat them in a speech at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with those points, but I do think that, I think that Sabrina is playing a harder game than, some other people than a Tala. I for sure think that Sabrina has played way more than Tala did, And I think that just, I guess a part of me is a little bit defensive of Sabrina just because everyone seems to dislike her so much, and I feel just the fact that she has kind of a personality that rubs people the wrong way shouldn't take away from the fact that I do think she has done some pretty good things in the game. Do I think that she should win? No. But I still think that she has played a better game than a lot of people give her credit for.
True, she definitely was, working hard in the beginning, and she was holding together the mess that was the first 5. Between Andrew being all loud, let's call him, and Kenny overplaying. It was a hard group to hold together.
Yeah. Well, with Kenny, I was just ugh, because I did feel like Kenny, if he would have just laid low a little bit, he could have had a much better social game. He didn't need to come off as such a threat, he would want to play in competitions, he would want to win, and I was like, Kenny, at the beginning, you never want to I don't think in my season, I don't think I played in the first 7 vetoes, and it was awesome. I was just good,
That's lucky. That's lucky you didn't even get picked, so you didn't have to
I did not play in a single veto until the first double eviction when Candace and Judd left. Like that was the first veto I ever played in.
I said that in my Liza's Dish weekly recap too. That I was just like, Kenny, why do you want to win this veto so bad? The Divergent one. It was Andrew in the end. Throw it to Andrew. Let the HOH do his thing. Like, why would you come off so strong? Yeah.
Another observation that I had at the beginning, I mean, I was a huge backer of Allison. Like, I really wanted Allison to get into the house. I loved Allison. And, like, I still feel like Allison got kind of screwed over throughout the course of the season. I think that if she would have just gone in as a regular player, I think that she would have had some really, like, intense potential. I mean, I don't think it was the best decision to hook up with Andrew immediately. But at the same time, like, I also feel like the cards were just really, really stacked against her the whole game. I mean, there was always this shroud of mystery around her, and it seemed to freak everybody out. And I feel like if she wouldn't have had that, I think she could have done a lot better. You know, I mean, like, as someone who's played, I'm sure you can attest to this, like, if someone would have come into the Big Brother house last summer 2 weeks late, and then, like, 3 weeks later produced some weird magic power of veto, I would have been terrified of them, and I would have wanted them out, you know?
Well, that was so bad. Yeah, I have on a topic Allison to talk about in general, but, yeah, exactly. Mystery, even though 2 weeks in, you sort of know who you like and you don't like, and, like, let's say your numbers are down, and someone cool comes in that you like I feel like I'm going to get along with Allison. I feel we're very similar.
Yeah.
So I would have loved an Allison in my house. Be like, oh, Team Liza, like, come to my side. But you're right. The cards, like, it's a raw deal. I mean, she got immunity at first, and then they called her the new girl for a week.
I know. And then just, like, I'm telling you, like, I'm sorry, Big Brother. I love Big Brother Canada. I've loved watching it. The one thing that I hate about Big Brother Canada is the instant eviction. Like, I feel like it's not even fun to watch. You're just watching someone just, like, basically get, like, I mean, you're like, lining someone up and, like, pointing a gun at their head and making them, like, squirm for a couple minutes and then pulling the trigger. You know, it's not fun to watch.
I agree. Excuse me.
Like, so, like, and watching Allison come out to, like, oh, bless you. Watching Allison come out to, like, a deserted audience and she just looked so defeated, like, it wasn't even good TV, you know?
That was AJ too. I mean, we also had that instant eviction.
Yeah, oh, I know.
You come out to, like, the blue stage. I have a cat that I'm allergic to. And, like, nobody's there. And, like, yeah, you don't get to play for Even I was in a double. I left because of a double. But at least it's exciting. Like, playing an HOH or playing a POV. I was whipping, like, I was changing back into my eviction clothes because I knew I was going. And, like, I came out to literally 15 of my family and Arissa. And, like, I can't imagine just, like, you're nominated, you're evicted, in what you're wearing, you don't pack your bags, get out, oh, by the way, there's no audience.
Yeah. That sucks.
You know, and she was sort of even ripped off in the beginning. I mean, actually, the War Room people got so much exposure in the first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, you came in hard, so to go out like that sucked.
I know.
How do you feel about the War Room? So when the War Room was first revealed to this final house guest, like, how do you feel as a player about that whole thing?
I mean, like I said, like, I think it was an interesting twist, but I think it kind of screwed Allison over. I would have really just liked to have seen Allison play normally, you know? And so I thought it was an okay twist, but I thought it really put the person that won that twist at a disadvantage.
I agree. What else about Allison? Yeah, it's weird because I know she's a mega fan. She was talking to me before. I can't find them. I don't remember if she contacted me on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. I don't remember how she got in touch with me, but I knew her face. Like, as one of our bajillion fans.
Yeah.
I knew her face as, like, someone who had been in touch with me. Just, you know, subtly, I'm a big fan, any tips for hopefuls, and you're thinking, you smart fucking girl.
Yeah.
Like, to get all of our opinions early. She's such a mega fan, and honestly, she got in that house and just, like, turned into a sheep. She just wanted to be safe.
Yeah.
To showmance right away, though.
I know.
Newbie.
And especially showmancing with Andrew, I was like, ugh, you know, like, damn. But, like, no, like I said, I was a huge fan of her. And I mean, call me a narcissist, but Allison really talked highly of my game. And I mean, as any true, like, person who understands, like, that was like, people that talk highly of my game, and not even saying that people that heap me with praise, but people just say that I played the game, I feel like actually understand Big Brother. You know, the people that claim that, like, I didn't do anything, the people that claim I'm a floater, I honestly don't think they understand the game, and I'm probably going to get so much hate for saying this. But, like, I worked my ass off, and Allison, like, actually recognized that, and I was like, okay, like, she gets this game. You know, she understands that this game isn't all about, like, big, overt moves, and, like, there are other ways to play it, you know? Because I feel like so many fans look at Big Brother and they're just like, oh, like you didn't make any power moves, like you never fought with people, like you, and I'm just like, yeah, like by working a more insidious like social game, like that's just as strong as like a huge like, you know what I'm saying, a game where like I'm making these swaggering moves. You know, it takes just as much work. And Allison was someone who recognized that, and I appreciated that from a fan standpoint. You know.
I agree. I told you that, like, you and I hung out almost immediately. I stayed at your place in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I've told you to your face, but not to all of our public, that, like, I had my eye on you the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
anyone who says that you weren't playing the game, I told you that I would watch screens of what was happening in the first half of the game, and every frickin' game talk that was going on, I would see Andy come right in the corner of the screen.
I mean, I almost feel like that's unprecedented gameplay. Like, has that, like, I literally was privy to, after the demise of the moving company, after like week 1, I was literally privy to every conversation. Like, people asked me once I got out of the house, people were like, oh, like, were you surprised to see this or that? And I'm just like, no. Like, everyone told me everything.
What was going on.
Yeah.
You don't understand how valuable that is in the house? Like, that you know literally everything that's going on?
And that's the thing, like, I floated to everybody in the house, but, like, I gathered information, and I used that information very strategically and, like, very sinisterly against other people, you know? I used it as, like, my arsenal, and I would put the information out there when it needed to be put out there and use it to my benefit, you know?
The definition, I don't think you're a floater. I don't think a floater means likable. A floater to me is someone with no loyalty, no allegiance, no lines. And while you were very likable and very informed, you knew who you were being loyal to at which time. And when you strategically had to make the switch from 3 a.m. to the Exterminators, like, that is intent. That is calculated intent. That's not a floater.
Yeah.
You know, Tala was a floater. I don't mean to be so mean to Tala. That's twice. I love Tala.
No disrespect to Tala. Yeah.
Yeah. Also very likable and wonderful. Just not quite sure of what game she was playing. What was the other thing? It was about floating and you going to the end. Hold on, I had a question. It was floater and I think there's a similarity in my opinion. I think follow this train of thought. You, Peter Brown, and Netta all ring the same bell in my head because you're the type of fans who I feel like you three specifically would go to bed every night in that house and think it through.
Oh my God.
Your day, what was tomorrow's move?
Yeah. Oh no. Like one of like a high like I don't even know if I can name names, but like someone like high into production, like when they would like come to our rooms and like talk to us before we went on the show, you know. And a piece of advice someone gave me was, before you go to bed and when you wake up in the morning, spend 5 minutes thinking about your position in the house, like what's going on. And I multiplied that by like 10. I would think for an hour every night before bed. I would think for an hour in the morning. I would lay there and just think, like, if you go back, like if you watch the feeds, you would see me just like laying in bed, like staring at the ceiling, and it was like me going through every possible scenario. I had like 5 outcomes for any situation thrown my way, you know?
That's critical though. And I know for a fact Peter was the same way, and we can see Netta's the same way. Like, Netta is prepared. The fact that in that instant eviction, she went out and slaughtered Allison, like literally, Netta went out and said exactly what she needed to say in one sentence to ensure that girl was evicted without a doubt.
Yeah. No, I want Netta. I mean, not only do I want Netta to win, like I want her to get to the end just because I think that she will slay the jury questions. I think she will knock it out of the park, and I would love to see that, you know?
I think Netta's got the game in the bag. I mean, she just has to get her ass to final 2. But, I mean, her standing up there against any one of these, her against Sabrina, her against John even. And you know what? I would love to see it against John. Okay. What I actually want is to see her cut John because that's great television.
Yeah.
But my heart, as a human, wants to see John and Netta final 2 to see that team make it there. But as I said in one of my dishes, a girl will not win against a man in the end, period. I think this is going to be the first time. I think Netta.
I think she could make Big Brother history. Yeah, I think she could beat John.
Because the only 2 in jury right now are Arlie and Allison, and they are hardcore, mega super fans, and they're already recognizing what Netta did.
Yeah, yeah.
So they don't have that much of a jury to sway. Like real fans, they're not bitter at all. Arlie and Allison, let it go. Do
you think Canada would vote for John over Netta or Netta over John? I think they would vote for John.
No, God, it has to be Netta.
But I'm telling you, like, the general public does not usually go for the best game player. Like, I feel like they go for, like...
We're going to do this right now. Okay, so I think Arlie and Allison absolutely vote Netta.
Yes.
And what do you think the Gremlins would do?
Rochelle is hard for me to predict. I have no idea what Rochelle would do.
I sort of think Rochelle's stupid and not playing her own game. And I think when Sabrina gets in the jury house and she's influenced by them, I think smart Arlie and Allison are going to push the Gremlins for Netta.
I think Sabrina would vote for Netta.
Which means Rochelle would vote for Netta.
Yeah. Yeah, so there we go. I mean...
It's done. And I also think Adele would because...
Like, yeah.
John,
no, I mean, like, but the thing is, like, I feel like the viewers, honestly, like, viewers, and I get this from, like, a viewer standpoint, viewers don't really like the players that consistently have control. You know, like the players that always get what they want. The viewers don't like that, and that's kind of how Netta has been. Like, Netta's been getting what she wants every week, you know, and so I could see the public. I mean, like, at the end of my season, the public, I believe, would have overwhelmingly voted for Gina Marie over me, which, like, is kind of ridiculous. But, like, you know, I mean...
When you think of the psychology of the... I mean, that's why Canada nominated Sabrina and Andrew, is because they don't like dominant players.
Yeah.
They don't like powerful bullies, basically. And they don't like dominant alliances. They don't want to see first five, final five. That's boring.
Like, I feel like right now, if the public got their vote, they would want, like, Heather and Adele in the final two.
Right.
You know?
Well, the underdogs as much as...
Yeah, exactly. Like, the public loves the... I mean, everybody loves a good underdog story. I get it, you know? But, like, you have to, like, look past that and look at who's playing a good game, and that's Netta, you know?
I am, like, literally, like, shaken by how good she is. Like, we've seen a little bit of, like, deviousness come out of her. Like, actually, I was touched by the babies.
Yeah.
I think that shows your humanity, right? Like, I was talking to my mother today, and she's like, Adele was so cute with the baby. And I'm like, you know what, Mom? He has a beautiful fiance at home. You know, he's going to go make some beautiful, like, Adele's going to be such a dad. So the whole baby thing made me love Adele.
Yeah.
And, like, really, Netta? Like, she borderline, like, held the child up by its hair and, like, drop kicked it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're a cold-hearted snake. Like, you're going to cut throats. Like...
Yeah. And that's how you need to play Big Brother. Like, I'm telling you, anybody that thinks that on Big Brother you should be loyal to anyone but yourself does not understand the game. Like, your true alliance should be with yourself. You should only do things that will benefit your position in the game. You know, you are not playing Big Brother for anybody else. And I feel like Netta has that mindset, you know?
She has had her eyes on the prize, like, I can't tell you.
And that's the thing, I could tell that from the beginning. I was like, she's so calculated, she's so, like, she's thinking everything through. Like, you said it perfectly. She had her eyes on the prize from the beginning, you know? And
she's never let them off, because you can lose it, too. Like, yeah, I would have loved to win Big Brother, but I didn't need... The truth is, I didn't need the money. Not that I'm rich. I just wasn't about to sort of sacrifice everything, excuse me, for $100,000.
Yeah.
Fine, ours is a lot less than yours. And people don't understand that when you're in that house, psychologically it feels like forever. So, like, a day is a week is a month is a year. So people say, oh, you're only in there 30 days, shut up. I'm like, dude, I was in there a year. In my head, that was a year of my life, and I obviously have a very strong personality. So while I went in trying to be a little, you know, quieter and less obviously so smart and business owner and altogether woman, by day 29, you're like, F you, F you, F you, like...
Well, see, I was like, I mean, I understand, I was like that and not like that, and the fact that, like, everyone was driving me insane, but, like, I feel like I needed my role to continue to be everyone's BFF, and so, I mean, I got so much shit from fans because I was a big shit talker once people left. Like, once people were out of the house, I would talk tons of shit about them, but it's like, I had to. Like, I still, like, now that I'm out of the house, I love all these people, like, we get along, but, like, in the house, I needed to let off steam once people left because while they were there, I was never able to do it, you know? And, like, I want to tell fans, it's like, imagine someone that you don't like, and, like, just not even someone that you don't like. Imagine, like, when your good friends get on your nerves, okay? And then imagine never being able to escape them for days on end and having nothing else to do but talk to them while they're annoying you. You know, like, that's what it's like in the house. Like, it is, you know? I mean, like, in real life, of course, like, you get annoyed by people that you love, but, like, you can get away from them. You know, like in the Big Brother house, you can't. And like it drove me crazy. Like I had to like let some steam off when people would leave, you know?
No, I'm saying that's impressive with you too. I mean, obviously you won, but yeah, people don't understand how hard it is to keep your mouth shut and just tell
And
people.
I never exploded on anyone, not once all summer.
So
like,
hard. I didn't explode either. Like, I wasn't explosive. Like, I got yelled at. Like, I almost said Twitter. Topaz screamed at me, and I wasn't about to yell back because it's not real life. Like,
yeah.
we're on the streets of Toronto here where I'm going to, like, take you.
Yeah.
Like, we're in the Big Brother house. Nobody's going to hit anybody. Like, there's no, what's the point? You're just screaming at me, calling me, like, names, and unless we're going to take this outside, like, why are you yelling at me?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I ended up, like, just not caring. Like, I just felt like I was smarter than everyone else because in real life, little bit am. So I just wanted to stand up in front of the house and be like, well, obviously this is how it's going to go. Like, any of you who don't think Emmett is running this house, you're stupid.
Yeah.
This is the moves we have to make. She's with him. They're obviously the Quattro. Like, so it's hard to kind of bottle it up and sort of selectively deliver your information when you're like, hello?
Yeah.
Like, this is what's going on. We'll come back to BB Can. I have two topics. One, you have a tattoo.
Oh, yeah. Wait, yeah.
Really? What? Just the key on the inside of your arm?
Yep. I went simple.
Any symbolism other than I won Big Brother, bitches?
No.
Are you going to do anything with it, or you just like the outline?
Literally, I'm just keeping the outline. I wanted to go real simple.
That's cute. And I want to talk about haters. So talk about this sort of I mean, you won. So did you find when you came out you got like equal parts love and hate, or?
No. No. I got lots and lots. I mean, I definitely, like I said, like I think people who actually understand Big Brother liked me. Like I don't even really think they loved my personality because I was a slimy little rat, but like they loved like the way that I played the game because they knew that I was playing, you know? And so I got love from those people, but there were tons and tons of people that were just like, you were a liar, and like you said mean things about people, and you were a racist. And I was just like, oh my God, like I just wish that I could dissect all of this because like the people that called me a racist, I was like, find clips of me being a racist. I dare you. You know, because you won't. And then like the people that claimed that I talked shit about Alyssa's children, if you go back and watch those clips, there were two instances where I talked shit about Alyssa's kids. Instance one, I was looking at a painting that her son drew, and I basically insinuated that like it kind of looked like finger painting, you know. And I insinuated that it looked like it came from like a kid who must have been in like kindergarten, okay? And so all I was trying to insinuate was her son is older than kindergarten. I thought they sent her like old paintings that he had painted. You know, I was in no way trying to like knock her son as a third grader or whatever grade he's in, because I actually like did not ever want to knock Alyssa's family because I was like, I've never met Alyssa's family. You know, a lot of people would like take shots at Alyssa's husband and things like that, and you never heard me saying things like that because I was like, I don't know them, you know? And then the other time, I'm talking about Alyssa's 15-year-old son who she claimed ran a bunch of online businesses, and I say, her son is obviously an idiot, okay? And if I would have stopped there, then okay, that is me talking shit about her son. But I followed it up by saying, when I was 15, I was an idiot. Everyone who is 15 is an idiot. Like, 15-year-olds should not run businesses. And so basically I was attacking anyone who's ever been 15 years old, you know, not Alyssa's child. And so, but like, it's so frustrating for me, like, when people attack me for that, and it's just like, my intention was not malicious in like either of those instances, you know? Like, I was just like basically either joking about it or like I was not trying to make personal digs at Alyssa's family, and like I was not a racist. Like, sure, I might have been in the room when people said racist things, but like I was playing a game, and if I would have yelled at everyone and called them out, I could have been like target number one, and I didn't want to be, you know?
I'm like making notes to answer. Yes, I hear you in that I too was very careful with what I said. First of all, I'm just not a stupid asshole. Like, in my real life, I don't tend to say a bunch of shit that's like, I say I'm obviously abrasive. You and I are similar. We tell it like it is. We'll make fun of ourselves, but I don't tend to like go for the jugular in real life. Yeah. So I didn't really need to hold back in the game. But I get called out on two things: calling Topaz a cunt, which I did. There's a clip of it, because she can be one, and she's my friend, and I would say that to her face, like, mm-mm. And two, people call me racist because I called her a hood rat. And I said, since when does that have anything to do with the color of your skin? Like, is Eminem a hood rat? Like, I have no sort of, like, race, especially the color of your skin. Like, I'm in Canada. Like, I'm in Toronto, Canada. Do you know, like, we're the most, like, multicultural city.
Yeah.
Like, I literally do not see race. So it wasn't about, like, race or culture. She was being a dirty rat from the hood. Like, she was walking, remember, no makeup. She didn't put her weave in. She was wearing the bathrobe, wearing her little bandana, napping all day, and just being, like, a slimy little rat when she bothered to be awake. So, like, people literally have called me a racist for calling her a hood rat.
I mean, it's, like, people, when people don't like you, they will try to find any reason to, like, call you out. And, I mean, I realized, like, people didn't like the way I was playing the game. So, like, they were really grasping at straws to and I mean, like, it actually, like, really bugged me when I got out of the house because, like, sure, like, just my game all you want. I still go down saying that I think I played an amazing game. But, like, being called a racist is a very serious allegation, you know? And so I was just like, people need to quit throwing this term around so loosely because, like, it is not a term that should be thrown around so nonchalantly, you know? And I mean, like, I got a lot of crap for saying the word cunt as well, but, like, I honestly, like, if I ever, I mean, maybe, like, once or twice I said it out of anger towards a female, not to her face, but, like, still, I'm not saying that I should have. That's wrong, and I completely will apologize for that. But for the most part, when I said it, I would be, like, referring to Spencer or McCrae, and I would, like, call them cunts, and it's just, like, obviously, I'm, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not using this word hatefully and misogynistically against women when I'm, like, saying it to McCrae or Spencer. You know, like, my intention is not hateful when I use this word. You know?
Who else said that? Oh, Andrew was trying to defend his use of dumb bitch because I make fun of him in my video, dumb bitch.
Yeah.
And just like, why does bitch have to be like female? Like, we all know it's a female dog, blah, blah, blah. But do you know what I mean? He was like, he wasn't just saying like women are inferior. Like, how people take sort of our aggressive slang. Plus, like, what people need to realize is, like, you just defended 2 instances in the house. How many days were you in there?
Yeah. 90.
I don't think anybody gets it. Like, 90 days, isolation, basically, like mental seclusion.
Yeah.
And there's 2 instances that they're going to, like, go after you for. It's hard to keep your mouth shut in there. It's so hard.
Well, and, like, I mean, people, like I said, people were grasping at straws. Like, I saw, like, one of the clips that claimed I was racist was this clip of me saying that Helen was sharpening her sword, which, like, I would have said about anybody. I just basically meant Helen was getting ready to go to battle against Amanda. And I actually feel like the person who claimed I was racist for saying that is racist themselves because they were the one that came to that conclusion. Like, they were the one that, like, put 2 and 2 together that, like, that was an Asian, like, race thing when, like, it wasn't, you know? Like, I would have said if I was, like, aligned with Helen and Amanda was, like, getting ready to get rid of Helen, I would have gone to Helen and said, Amanda is sharpening her sword. You know, I would have said that about anybody.
I know. Like, that is such a stretch.
Such a stretch.
Like, that's crazy. Okay, so on the topic of calling out, just because I think you're fun to talk to about, like, the mentality of that house, when you were, like, basically, people were saying things you didn't approve of, but you're not about to stand up on a soapbox.
No.
And, like, I was telling people, too, like, I don't understand. I'm not a keep my mouth shut kind of girl. I always speak up, especially for what's wrong, and especially when it comes to my friends.
Yeah.
That house, you're all a bunch of sheep. Even when you're brilliant and you're thinking, there's a sheepy mentality where you just sort of want, as long as the target's not on you.
Oh my God, yes. Like,
that's like
I always tell people, like, in my real life, let's say in my real life, my personality is a 10. Okay, like, I'm ridiculous, I'm outrageous. In the Big Brother house, I was like a 3. I was the epitome of a sheep. I was like, I never want the spotlight on me. I never want the attention on me. I would, like, purposely, like, very strategically be like, I haven't been to the diary room in 4 days. And I would, like, say things like that because I was like, it's going to make people think that I'm just this wallflower that is irrelevant when, in fact, like, I have a very heavy hand in every eviction, you know?
That's great advice for everyone watching right now who watches this. Like, I just feel like you're getting little magic nuggets.
Like, seriously, like, literally, Liza, every single week, except for the week that McCrae won the veto and we had to send Judd home, the person that went home was the person I wanted to go home. Like,
but I like your little advice about your little tricks in the house. I said that to Spencer, I must have been talking to. And I said that even though you're not allowed to talk about what you do in the diary room, you get in a lot of Big Brother trouble for that. Liza, stop that. house guest, I'm talking about production. If I wanted people to think I was being genuine, I would mention DR. So, like, I'd say to Peter, so the DR, asked me about you, and I said that you're my person in the house.
Yeah.
I think if you said it in DR, then it must be true.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we're just giving you little tricks on how to screw with your housemates should you be on Big Brother.
And I mean, no, like, and I mean, the other big thing that I did to try to, like, weasel my way into everything, and, like, I know I've said this in other interviews, I put personal items of mine in every single room so that no matter what people were doing in a room, I could walk in and grab something and look like I was busy or look like I was, like, purposely going into that room to, like, get my hairbrush or get my deodorant or get my contact solution. And, like, it gave me a reason to walk into any room at any time, you know?
I love that. I love that. Also, I'm so, like, blowing up with things I want to ask you about. What was the other one about reasons to go in there? Shit, I have so much I want to ask you. Okay. Has anyone ever been mean to your face? So we love
people will joke. Like, people, you meet me and within 2 seconds you know that I'm, like, a very easygoing, like, nice person, and people will be like, I hated you on the show, but, like, you're an awesome guy in real life, and I'm like, everyone hated me on the show. I get it, you know, like, I did not play likable, and so, like, I mean, that's, like, the worst. No one has ever, like, maliciously been like, fuck you to my face or anything, you know, I mean,
but then we're this whole Twitterverse, like, you have thousands of people hiding behind a computer, and you get shit on every day.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I mean, but, like, I learned, because, like, in real life, I mean, like, I was voted a friend to everyone by my high school class. Like, I'm very nice. Like, I get along with everybody. And so, like, my friends, they all told me when I got back to Chicago, they were like, we were very nervous that you were going to be very sad because, like, the public didn't love you, you know? And I mean, I realized very quickly that, like, who gives a shit what a bunch of people who have never met me think about me, you know? Like, these people on Twitter and stuff, like, you've never met me in person. You watched me playing a game. You watched me have this persona while I was in the Big Brother house that isn't what I'm like in real life all the time. And it's like, I don't care, you know? Like, if you meet me in real life and you don't like me, that kind of hurts my feelings. But, like, if you watched me on a television show and didn't like me, whatever.
You and I could attest, like, I don't know when I stayed with you in Chicago. It was, like, not long after.
It was, like, maybe a month after the show, yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird in Big Brother. The public doesn't understand that. Like, we all feel like we know each other. Like, even though we don't. Like, you watch BB Can. You watch my season to prep for yours because we were 6 months before you. Like, you sort of know who I was. And then obviously we all watched BB 15. And so, like, I literally was like, Andy, I'm sleeping over. You're like, fine, you can sleep on the couch. Like, it's very weird how we're all, like, family. But I could tell you, Worlds, Andy didn't give a shit. Like, you were the single most well-adjusted human being coming off Big Brother I've ever seen.
Oh, thanks, yeah.
Like, and especially as a winner, which not only means all the love and hate that comes with that, but the duration you had to stay in that house, the mental pressure in that house for the length of time you were in there, like, you were just like, oh, yeah, I won. Back to my life. I was like, what? Like, some of us were still screwed up, like, a year later.
Yeah, no, like, when I won, I just, like, couldn't, I mean, I seriously, like, I have such a good base of, like, friends and family in Chicago that, like, I just couldn't wait to come back and get back to my everyday life, you know?
How's your roommate?
Oh, my roommates both moved out. Anthony and Tashia aren't here anymore. I have 2 new roommates. Anthony actually hightailed it to Italy. He's, like, living in Italy right now for 3 months.
Hi, Anthony. I love you so much.
I know. No, he had like an eat, pray, love moment, and he moved to Italy. So.
Oh my God! I should follow him on Facebook or something. I feel disconnected.
Yeah.
I remember the thing I was going to say before when you were saying the trick about leaving things in every room, so you have to go in there. Alec on my season intentionally packed not enough clothes, so he constantly had to borrow other people's clothes. Like, so. I mean,
that's smart.
Oh shit, it was eviction night, and like, Alec did not, if you watch Alec, they didn't give him, Alec was trying to be funny, and a character, he's trying to be a Will, but he's not, so they didn't give him the edit he wanted, so he comes off just looking stupid, because people don't understand what he was trying to do. If you really watch Alec at every single eviction, he's dressing like one of us. he showed up one eviction looking like AJ, one eviction he looked like Peter with the glasses and the butt and the shirt, one he showed up as Topaz in the robe and the bandana.
Yeah.
They didn't feature any of that. But I was just chiming in with another trick that, yes, leave personal items around so it looks like you have a reason to go in that room. And Alec is a PhD in psychology, right? So there is a psychological bonding between sharing things, whether it's makeup or whatever, or your clothes. Yeah. Like, oh, shoot, I need a shirt for evict. Like, when Anil got evicted, so when Anil got screwed by that power shift, when my Anil, like, suddenly got evicted, he was in Jillian's pants, and I was in, he had that leopard tank top that I wore as a dress.
Okay.
Like, and Anil would say that Jillian and I were as two girls. Like, there's something about sharing clothes.
No, like, the beginning of my season, like, I mean, you never saw this based on the edit on the show, but Candace and I were actually quite close in the house, and I didn't bring any, like, sleep pants, you know? Like, I didn't like, anticipate it being very cold in the house, and the have-not room was really, really cold, and so Candace gave me these, like, flowery purple pajama pants that she had, and so I shared those with her all summer. I actually still have them. I, like, weirdly, like, did not give them back to her. And, like, I feel like me and her, like, but, like, you know what I'm saying? We were, like, so close. Like, we shared our clothes. I literally shared clothes with Candace. And, like, it really bonded us. You know, Candace and I had, like, a very good friendship dynamic when we were in the house. And, like, that was, like, something that strengthened it, for sure.
Plus, Candace was getting so much heat that just to have someone who didn't bully her, honestly, I don't know, just someone who didn't give her a hard time, it would be so much closer. So, yeah.
Well, and Candace and I had, like, a really fun dynamic where, like, I mean, I would do this with Candace and with Alyssa a lot. I would just, like, make fun of them, but it was, like, out of a place of love. You know, I would, like, always talk about how I wanted to evict them and, like, always about how they were, like, obsessed with me and things like that. But it was, like, because I liked them so much. You know, we were, like, very good friends.
It's weird how that happens, too. Like, obviously, it's a long and winding road, and Emmett and I are not okay. Not that we hate each other. Nobody gives a shit. It's been a year. We're all over it. But Emmett and I aren't friends. We don't get along. We don't talk. We have nothing to do with each other's lives. But the first 2 weeks at least, I want to say. At least the first 2 weeks, Emmett and I were, like, great. Like, when I look back at old episodes in the beginning, like POV ceremony, Emmett is sitting, pre-Jillian, Emmett is literally sitting on the couch with his arm around me. Like, Emmett and I would cuddle all the time. Emmett would always joking. Like, Emmett's not my type, obviously. I had enough showmances in that house, but Emmett would walk in his underwear, and I'd be like, damn, woo, cowboy. Yeah. Like,
no, like, I mean, I had kind of a similar rapport with Alyssa. I mean, for the first, like, 2/3 of Alyssa's time in the house, we were very, very close. Like, we had a very fun dynamic. We would joke around all the time. We would, like, always try to go into the diary room together, like, things like that. Like, just, it was great. And then, like, Alyssa, very, like, astutely started to realize that I was playing everybody, and she was, like, on to me, and I couldn't shake her, you know? Like, she was, like, always on to what I was doing. And it started to make me hate her. Because, like, I feel like I could mold everybody else, and I, like, could not mold Alyssa. And so, like, as people who have played the game kind of test, like, when you start to dislike someone, it festers and it grows, and you just, like, really start to hate them. And so, like, when Alyssa was evicted, I genuinely hated Alyssa. And then, like, immediately when I saw Alyssa at the finale, I was like, you don't hate Alyssa. You know, I was like, you hated Alyssa in the game. Like, I was, like, very unhappy and, like, very nervous and scared for the last, like, couple weeks of the game. And as a result, I, like, took out my aggression by talking shit about Alyssa. And then, like, I'm not kidding, like, the minute that I saw Alyssa at the finale, I was like, she was your friend for most of the summer. You don't hate her, you know? And so I'm very glad, like, Alyssa and I have repaired our friendship. We, like, joke all the time now. We're back to, like, our wacky dynamic, which makes me so happy because, like, I genuinely don't have, like, a negative feeling in my body towards Alyssa, you know?
She was fun at Rally, too. I'm a Riley fan, so
yeah.
She's a really cool girl.
Yeah.
Alex said, too, in my season, he would actively, if someone was on the block, he would actively detach himself. I think this was a bit of a fail tactic, but, yeah, like, Alec basically saw two people on the block and thought, you're a dead man walking, I'm not going to work on our friendship, like, literally would not stay in the same room with or have conversations with basically the person that was going to be evicted. Because he was so afraid, and this is a little bit true, he didn't want to basically be seen sort of commiserating with them.
Yeah.
Like, Danielle was on the block as a pawn and thought she was safe. All she did is spend 24/7 with Gary and Suzette, the two least liked in the house.
Yeah.
She figured, oh, I'm safe, everything's fine, I'm a pawn. She spent 24/7 with the people everyone else hated. So that we were all like, you need to go.
Yeah.
Like, don't associate yourself with literally the dead man walking.
I still feel like I feel like with me it was hard. Like when I knew someone was going, I would kind of distance myself from them, but not to that point. Like I would never like not be in a room with them. But then when it came down to jury, I feel like I actually would like pull people. Like honestly, I did this with almost everybody. Besides, I mean, I blindsided a few people, so I didn't do it to like Judd or Amanda or Alyssa. But I remember with like Jesse, with Candace, and with Helen, like an hour before the eviction, I pulled each one of them aside every week, and I was like, I love you so much. I was like teary, and I meant it because I liked all three of them. I was like, I love you. I'm so sorry. Like I know you know that you're going home. I know that I'm voting for you, but just realize like it's a game. I love you. Like I'm so sorry that I have to do this because I knew that like they were probably going to be on the jury. You know.
Brilliant. You know that. Like leaving people with that lasting impression.
Yeah.
Is crucial.
Like, Jesse, I'm sure, like, if you ask any of them, they can attest to this. I had, like, a very teary goodbye with each one. And even Helen, like, with Helen, I actually, like, was kind of ballsy, and I sat her down, and I was like, Helen, like, there's a lot more going on in this house than you know. Like, I'm doing a lot, because she just thought I was, like, sweet little Andy who had no idea what was going on, when, in fact, like, I kind of, like, masterminded her eviction with Amanda and McCrae. And I was like, Helen, like, I'm doing a lot more than you think, and I hope that, like, once you realize this, I hope the game player in you will understand, like, what I am doing, you know, like, the reason why I'm getting rid of you, and it's not because I don't like you as a person, it's just that there's a lot more going on that you don't understand, and I love you, you know, I was, like, crying while I told her, because I meant it, like, I think so many people gave me shit for crying so much, but, like, I genuinely liked a lot of these people, you know?
Yeah, I agree. It is hard. The only time I got emotional was, I've said this before, so I don't know why I'm repeating myself, but, I used to watch these reality shows, and when someone would get evicted and someone would cry, I'd be like, you gotta be kidding me, get your shit together. They didn't just get shot in front of you.
Yeah.
They're going evicted for 4 weeks, and then you could so when people would cry, I'd be like, you're a loser, get over it, this is stupid. And when it was the power shift and Canada saved Suzette, and then Tom had to nominate someone, which we all thought it was going to be Andrew because it should have been, but Emmett got a hold of him. And Tom came out and looked at me and then looked at Anil, and I went, like, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I was just like, oh my God, I'm the loser. Like, I didn't cry, but I was so choked up. That's when I knew my game was over, my whole game. And I got evicted basically the next week. Like, I was like, oh, I'm emotional.
Yep.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Smart people, you were saying something about molding, and that just, if anyone thinks you didn't play this game, that's ridiculous. 2 points, past and current. Emmett and I think we were both very smart, and we were the only people who caught on to each other. I'm trying to manipulate the house, he's trying to manipulate the house, but we couldn't manipulate each other, clearly. Yeah. Emmett had no power over me. Do not put your Emmett hand on my shoulder and look into my eyes and manipulate me. Like, even he was in Canada, like Toronto recently, to be on the sideshow and whatnot, and whatever, and he was hanging out at Pete's a lot, and if you go on their Instagrams and crap, there is a picture of Emmett and Pete in the hot tub, and I guess Jillian took a picture of them. Emmett, literally, same thing. Emmett has his hand on Pete's shoulder, right by the way Emmett would grab people by the shoulder and basically tell them what they had to do. I was like, don't touch me. Yeah. Like, I watched him do that to everybody the whole game, but you molding, and then Netta couldn't mold Allison.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's a wild card. She came in late. She got some secret veto. Like, Netta is like, everything's gonna go like this.
Yeah.
And as soon as something happened that she didn't anticipate, yep. I think Allison effed up by using that veto. There was no reason.
I know.
It was Arlie and Sabrina, right? Arlie was the target, but who cares?
Yeah.
Don't pull that veto out of your ass and show that you have magical secret powers if you don't need it.
I completely agree. Well, and like I said earlier, my situation with Alyssa was very similar. I couldn't mold Alyssa, and so Alyssa had to go. Like, I was going to do anything I could to get rid of her, because I was just like, everyone else here is under my spell, and Alyssa's not. Like, she's seeing through me, and so it's either her or me. You know, I knew that she was going to come for me, so I had to take her out first.
Which is smart, which is, again, anyone who says that you didn't play that game, that you didn't, like, you weren't constantly looking for allies and targets and tips and power.
Like, at the beginning of the season, like, Nick was like that. Like, I would sit down and try to talk game. Like, I could talk game with anybody, and they would sit and engage me, at least. Even, like, Jeremy I would talk to. But, like, Nick would not talk game with me. Like, I would be like, okay, where's your head? And he would be like, oh, well, it's just too early. Like, it's too early. I don't know yet. And I was like, bullshit. You know, I was like, you gotta go. Like, literally, the week that he was evicted, I would go to people and I would literally beg them so hard that he had to leave the house that I would cry. Like, I would be like, he is going to ruin everyone's game. Like, he's so shady. There's something up with him. And, like, I was totally right. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like I couldn't mold him either. Like, he, like, would not give me the time of day or listen to me. And so I was like, you gotta go, you know?
Thank you, because that made Nick and I friends in real life.
Yeah.
I appreciate him coming out pre-jury.
Yep. Yeah,
I love pre-jury. Like, I love my people.
Well, I remember, like, the other person, like, those first couple weeks, like, I sat down with David one day, and I was like, David. And I already knew that I was going to vote David out, but I was like, David, if you got HOH next week, like, who would you put up? And he was like, I don't know, probably, like, Helen and Alyssa. And I was like, AKA, like, my two biggest allies, like, you gotta go, buddy. Sorry, like, not happening.
David would have done, like, imagine him winning HOH. Remember, he didn't spell a word, right? That was David.
Yeah, that's correct.
The challenge was spell any word.
Yeah.
Any word. Do you see the, and then Heather with her one L too much?
Yeah.
At least she spelled a word, though, sort of.
Yeah.
It's sad. I need to talk about Kenny. Do you want to make out with him as much as I do?
Okay, Kenny seems like an awesome guy. And I think he's super attractive. He seems super nice. The beard has to go, Liza. I'm not into the beard. Like, I'm sorry.
I am a beard person. Like, I find a beard increases people's, like, just give me like a 10 o'clock shadow. Like,
no. Like, I want like the Twinkier the better, and so his beard needs to go.
Have you seen pictures of him with no beard?
I have, which
it is actually quite delicious. Yeah. You know,
but Kenny seems wonderful. I'm really excited to meet him for sure.
I would just like to announce that he hasn't called me yet. So Andrew and I have Skyped.
Okay.
Sarah and I talk all the time. Paul and I are good friends, and Nick.
Kenny's like the one that I talk to the most. I text with Kenny quite a bit.
I'm gonna tweet him right now. Hey, Kenny. On what are we doing? Are we interviewing? Live interview with Andy. He says you need to call me. Hashtag beard. Get that fucker to call me right now. I don't understand. I'm not gonna like attack him.
Yeah.
I don't rape people. I seduce people. There's a huge difference.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
He said he's 70-30, so I think the only way that he's going to make out with me is if there's a boy in there, too.
Okay.
Andy, can you take one for the team?
I'm 100/0, so I don't know if I can.
Fine, I'll get over Kenny. Okay, we're basically hitting the hour, even though you were late. I want to know two things, sort of wrap up with, well, let's wrap up with BB15. Any other comments? We started off BB15 strong, so you think Netta, unless some major shit screws her up?
Yeah, I think Netta deserves to win. Like, if all is just in the world, Netta will win.
And then, I sort of know who's going this week. What if... No, there's no way Netta doesn't win this. No, she's going to win. Like, because I think the people in the house don't realize how much she's controlling things. I think they're giving John a lot more credit. Yeah. So should Sabrina or Heather go after John and Netta? I still think John's going home. I do too. I think there's a huge chance John and Netta make final two. And actually, Netta, I'm repeating myself, but I think Netta wants to make that memorable move. I think she'll cut him, yeah. So I think she's cutting him. I think she's cutting him because I think she's going to win against anybody at this point, but I think she needs to be known as, like, that move maker. And maybe she'll, like, cut him a check. I was always going to cut Tom a check if I won. Something. Yeah. Like, she might throw him something. I mean, if she basically takes second place away from him, maybe she'll take him somewhere, give him a treat. And then close off with what's new with you. So I don't know if anyone knows anything about you, what you were doing before the show. I know what you do for a living, but what is, like, your future? Are you just chilling? Did you go back to work? What are your hopes? I took the semester off to travel. I'll be back to work in the fall. I actually got hired at a Columbia College in downtown Chicago, teaching a class on reality television, so that'll be exciting. Oh, that's awesome. I wish they could like webcast that out.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so I'm doing that. I mean, this semester, like I said, like I took the semester off. I was in Australia. I'll be in Canada. I'm doing some like charity events for the show in June and July. I'll be back out in LA at the end of June.
Oh,
doing
are
some
you going
festival
to
shows.
for reality?
What? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay.
Sweet. Yeah, for anyone who hasn't figured it out yet, a lot of BB15 are coming to Toronto for BBCan 2 wrap.
Yeah.
So stay on Twitter because I promise not to tweet that I think anyone's terrible and I hate them and get 3,000 followers overnight. I'm not trying to be provocative, but I'm probably going to tweet the best pictures.
Yeah.
Right? I love you, long time. And everyone's staying with me?
Apparently.
Yeah, everyone's staying, it's fine. I don't know, you can't really see this, but it's huge. I have like 2 queen beds, 2 queen blow-ups, a huge couch. Like,
okay.
I think we have plenty of room.
Cool.
I could not be more excited to have the U.S. invasion. And I'll see you in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, you stay online with me. I'm not going live anymore, but going to talk to you. Bye, everyone.